Hi everyone, my name is Crystal and welcome back to our YouTube channel, Bible-Based Teens. Today is Monday, the 1st of June, and this is our follow-up episode to our last episode that we recorded. And before we get started, I just want to say that if you like the content of this channel, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget, if you have any thoughts, place them in the comment section below so we can get the conversation started. So let's get to it. So our scripture reading from the last episode that we did was Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3. And the scripture reads, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans." So last week we said that, this scripture can be broken down into two parts. In the first part of the scripture, we are told to commit everything we do to the Lord, which also means to entrust everything that we do to the Lord. In essence, we are called to yield to God all of our will and allow God to have full control to either help us to move forward and be successful in those plans or change those plans in any way that he sees fit. And so we also said that either way, when we yield our plans to God, we can trust that God is a good father who only wants what is good for us, and he will always lead us in the right direction. The second part of the scripture implies that when we commit our plans to the Lord, those plans that do go forward in our lives are the only plans that God allows to go forward. And so therefore, the ones that God decides to be successful. This is important because it represents a divine partnership between us and God. Therefore, we don't have to worry so much about our future because when we partner with God, we know that it will be well with us. And so last week, as I was thinking about this scripture, I started to think about this scripture particularly last week, Thursday. Basically, I had a really close family member that was going to have like a scheduled surgery later on in the month. And instead of them having that surgery later on in June, they ended up having an emergency surgery last month. And so it was really scary. My family began to panic. I began to panic. I began to get very anxious. But you know what? I started to pray about that situation and I started to give God all that anxiety. And I heard the Lord say, "Give me your anxiety, give me your plans, give me all your frenzied moments, give it all to me, release it to me." And I heard God say to me, "Keep your eyes on me and it will be well with you." And so I surrendered everything to God. Needless to say, my family member had that surgery. It was very successful. And the fact is that I was even more relieved after the fact because that problem was resolved long before the ending of June. And I just felt like it was just a way to bring peace and calm and serenity to my family. And so, everyone was happier. My family member who had the surgery was happier that that thing was taken care of. And I was happier that that thing was taken care of. And everyone else in my family, we were all so happy.